Hey guys, welcome back to the PillowFort podcast. I'm here again with Kate. We are going through One Piece, and we have come to the end of what is the East Blue Saga. This week we're going over the Loguetown arc, or possibly the Loguetown arc. I'm not sure. Viz confuses me with its use of L's and R's at all times. But this arc is only 5 chapters long, if you've read it, from chapters 96 through 100. So obviously there will be spoilers, probably heavy spoilers for those chapters, and anything before it. But yeah, so Kate, as always, first impressions this week. How do you feel about the Loguetown arc?
I feel pretty good about it. I like it. I mean, it's a short arc, like we were talking about, obviously. So, it goes by pretty fast, at least comparatively to what we've been reading up to this point. But it's interesting to see, Luffy's reaction and the whole, cruise. They kind of go on, they each separate from each other during this arc and kind of go on their own little adventures in, shopping and everything. And then Luffy gets to go and see the execution point of the King of the Pirates, which is pretty exciting for him. And undoubtedly he climbs up on top of a place where it's most likely clearly marked that you're not supposed to go up there.
Yeah, there's no way they let people up here. Is this an active execution stand? Do they still kill people here?
I don't know. It's hard to tell, really, because, sometimes you think, oh, maybe they do still actively kill people here, but, I mean, it seems like the only person they really care about who died here was really, Goldie Roger, right? But,
well, yeah,
that
of course. This is where the whole age of pirates started. Right. It's in this town.
Exactly. So, that doesn't give us really a whole lot of insight into whether or not, it's still used, or if it's, not used at all anymore, I don't know. I don't know if it would be, because, I mean, Smoker is now, the commanding officer, or whatever the title is of, this town, right? So, I don't know if it would be his style to really use the execution, thing, or if he would just, take justice into his own hands in a way, I don't know if public execution would really be his style.
Sure. Yeah. No, yeah, it's an interesting arc. It's a little arc. I will say, you've watched this part of the anime. I believe that we've watched, actually, this together, even at times.
Yeah.
I am missing a little bit of Daddy the Father, which is lacking from this arc. And I literally, as I read it, does this not bring you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right? I know. There's a filler character that Usopp has a sniping contest with called Daddy the Father. He's a bounty hunter, and that's his name.
Yes.
But I was missing Daddy the Father. I actually thought that he was canon. And I thought that Usopp was, the whole time I was one of these chapters has got to be Daddy the Father and Usopp. That's got to be their thing. And then I was oh, that just doesn't happen. Usopp just gets caught by Sanji to carry an elephant tuna. That's his whole thing, this arc. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, getting into the arc a little more deeply. We find out how newspapers are delivered in this world, and apparently a bird just flies around and delivers newspapers.
Yeah. So we were wrong about the mailboat.
We were, unfortunately. I have so many questions about the logistics of using seagulls with hats to deliver all of your newspapers or mail. But hey, if it works, it works. What do I know?
Right.
I love that Nami is complaining about inflation to a seagull.
Yes.
In the beginning.
And I don't know exactly where that's going to get her, but
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a seagull,
yeah.
So I don't know how much he can, how much he can help her out.
Yeah.
No discounts there. But what I like about the beginning of that first chapter is just I like seeing them, all the crew, like in their like just living a little bit of their life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we got Sanji being like crazy about protecting the tangerines.
Right.
We got, everybody's just kind of like doing their thing and like having fun on the ship. And there's a lot of times like this, I think, throughout the series, these like littler moments where they're just like being a crew.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that.
I like it too.
I like seeing it, especially now, especially after you get past all of that. We get through Arlong Park, all the turmoil that we've been through. It's good to see like these people are clearly like a family at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked seeing that. But the big thing in that chapter is Navy HQ. We saw the headquarters of the Marines.
Yeah.
Briefly, as they discuss Luffy's bounty, which I have so many questions about, but I can't talk about any of them because they will spoil future things. So, what'd you think about the whole presentation of the Navy there?
I thought it was interesting, like, in how they did it, just because, we haven't really seen any deeper glimpses into the Navy. Like, we've seen kind of individual Navy officers outside of Navy HQ, right? But we haven't really seen, like, a bunch of them, at least not on the scale that we saw in that, like, all together, So I just thought it was, like, interesting, the way that, like, they go about, like, making bounties for people, and, like, it seems like almost like they have these meetings, right, where, like, they'll discuss, what the proper berry amount would be for somebody. It was interesting to get a deeper look into, like, kind of what Navy HQ is like. But, like, still, even then, like, we only got a very, very small glimpse into it. Like, we haven't really seen it on a larger scale. We kind of just saw, like, this kind of more meeting boardroom, right? And then, like, somebody making a bigger announcement to a bunch of Navy officers. So, like, we still haven't seen a whole lot. But I thought it was just interesting that they showed that. And, like, the process of, like, that's kind of how I think Oda is, like, telling us in a way that the discussion is happening about, Luffy's beginning bounty.
Yeah, and speaking of Luffy's bounty, we are a wanted man now. This is the first time in the series that Luffy is actually a wanted man. He hasn't been so far. Yep. I mean, I'm sure that he was like wanted in the specific areas.
Right.
But not really, because he took Morgan out and the Marines were like,
we're
going to let this one slide because Morgan was the worst.
Right.
Like, I mean, maybe Nezumi wants him, but even then,
so he
that's what got him the bounty, though, is Nezumi calling it in. So, but his bounty is 30 million berries, which they showed the bounties of the other three of the other pirates. It was Buggy, Don Krieg, and Arlong, right?
Yeah.
And Arlong's was the highest at 20 million berries.
Right.
Luffy has 10 million higher than Arlong.
Right.
How do you think about that? What do you think about that bounty? What do you think about the whole bounty numbers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? Just because, like, it would make sense, like, oh, okay, this pirate defeated these other pirates, right? So I guess he should be at a higher bounty than the rest of them, right? But, like, I don't know, 10 million berries is a pretty big jump to make, though, from, like...
Yeah, because I think Buggy is 15.
Yeah, right.
And Arlong was 20, and so and that makes sense to me, right?
Yeah.
I think Arlong is probably, like, stronger than Buggy. I would be more scared of Arlong than Buggy.
Right. Yeah, but, like, to make that whole jump, it seemed like a lot. Like, almost in my mind, logically, I would be like, okay, you probably want to make him at least close to the highest bounty that he took out, right? Because at this point, you don't know if he can take out anybody higher than that, technically, from your own information that you have. And, like, you also don't know, like, how the battle really transpired, you know, how close it was or how distant, you know, they were in power levels. So, like, you don't really know. So I would think that they would be a little closer than, like, 10 million berries, you know?
Yeah. See, this is why I think that the bounty system in One Piece is one of the most ingenious, like, power level-esque systems ever established in anime. Like, because, you know, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of what else you're familiar with. Like, but, like, yeah, you're, like, kind of familiar with Dragon Ball Z that literally does power levels, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've played enough games, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You've played enough Dragon Ball Z games, probably to last several lifetimes, but... so, like, you know, there's, like, power levels in that show that's literally, like, at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z that was literally, like, this is the number of how strong he is versus the number how strong this guy is, right?
Power levels over 9,000.
And they, like, they kind of... yes, it's a meme.
It's a meme.
Yeah. But, so, like, but bounties work kind of like that.
Yeah.
As in, if I see somebody's bounty, right, you're supposed to think they are around that level of strength. Like you said, it's like, okay, so I see that Luffy's 30, Arlong's 20. I should infer, then, that Luffy's stronger, right?
Yes. That makes sense.
And so they do work like that in the world and in, like, our world to look at characters. And Oda will use them sometimes like that. But Oda also uses them to be intentionally deceptive sometimes.
Yeah.
He will give someone a higher or lower bounty depending on, like, the circumstances he wants to use the story for. Like, what have they done? What have they not done? You know?
Yeah.
Like that. And I think this is the reason maybe why Captain Kuro was not on this list, because his intention was probably to keep his bounty low. I mean, they also thought he was dead. But, but his intention is to keep, like... A guy like that doesn't want a high bounty, right?
Right.
Versus Luffy sees this and he's, like, super hype about it, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, it's, so if you want your bounty high, you're probably going to have a higher bounty than someone who's trying to hide himself, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So the system is ingenious, and it's a great way of essentially making the community argue about who is stronger than who, because you can't definitively say this is stronger than this because of the bounty,
right?
Because that's not how it works. But you can say, like, well, the Marines then clearly think this guy is this much stronger than this guy,
right?
Yeah, so I really like the bounty system, and we've kind of been introduced to it, and obviously as we see more, you know, more characters pop up with bounties and stuff like that, we'll get more into that, but I just, you know, this is where it's introduced.
Yeah.
Which started off here. But yeah, as we get into the town, we see a girl named Tashigi. It's the first thing we see. Zoro encounters Tashigi, and I'm just wondering about your Tashigi thoughts in general.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Tashigi?
Tashigi, like, I kind of like her in some aspects. Like, I do think that she does have, like, a decent amount of power. Like, we obviously saw her take out, like, 2 pretty big dudes at the beginning of this. Like, and she was significantly smaller than both of them. Like,
yeah, for
so,
sure.
like, you know, like, from the beginning, like, okay, she's got some power. She's obviously also has some, like, knowledge as far as, like, swords go. And all that stuff, which, like, Zoro does not have that knowledge.
Which is insane, by the way. I just, like, for a man so disciplined,
yeah,
for him to, like, not even know about that is,
Yeah, I think, like, it adds homage to, like, you know, Zoro is very powerful, he's very intimidating also, but, like, he's not, like, the brightest person ever, you know?
Dumb as a box of rocks, this guy.
Like, we know that he's not, like, Luffy level of dumb, right? But, like, we're...
yeah, he's not quite there.
But we're not, like, you know, in awe about his intelligence, you know? Like, so, like... I think Tashigi is interesting, especially her in accordance with like Zoro, and like Zoro like thinking basically like she's incredibly similar to his childhood friend.
Yeah.
And like almost like exactly the same to her in a lot of ways. So like I think that that's definitely an interesting point, but I mean, I don't, like, really love Tashigi, you know? Like, I'm fine with her. I think she's okay. But, like, I'm not, like, oh, yeah, Tashigi is the best, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel that way, too. I'm, like, my thing is, I think that Oda is trying to... And we may find out, like, more, as of this point, like, if I'm being honest, right? Even to this day in the manga, there isn't really any more, like, detail about Zoro's backstory, right?
Right.
We haven't gotten that.
No.
If it's ever coming, right? But, like, it feels almost like Oda is trying to answer the question that he tried to pose with Kuina.
Yeah.
Which is, like, his answer there... If you just have the backstory, it appears like the answer is there isn't a hope, like, for women and swordsmanship. But, like, it feels almost like Oda is, like, introduces this character, makes her look just like Kuina to say, like, okay, but this is the skill level, right? That I'm introducing the real answer, which is, like, there is an ability, there is a way for even if you're not physically stronger, there's a way for you to be more skilled, and actually that ends up allowing you to be stronger in a fight.
Right.
Which is kind of I think we talked about that like the first week we did this, right?
Yeah.
Talked about that a little bit. But yeah, no, so I think she's interesting in that way, but I don't like the relationship with Zoro. I don't like how like flustered he gets all the time.
I don't like that.
I really hate it. I don't like that at all. So I don't like what she does to Zoro.
Yeah.
And Zoro is such a cool guy. But we do get to if I like skip ahead, right? We do meet her again in the sword shop. Zoro goes into the sword shop, right? And tries to get... He needs 2 other swords because obviously his 2 Mihawk broke them, right?
Yeah.
So he needs 3 swords. And the guy kind of tries to jerk him around, tries to buy the Wado Ichimonji, and we learn like a little bit about the world of swords.
Yeah.
And that there's 12 supreme grade, 21 excellent, and 40 fine swords out there, like different blades out there.
Yeah.
And Tashigi's goal is to collect them all, or at least to get the ones that pirates have out of the pirates' hands.
Right.
Which, let me tell you,
oof.
She's got a task. Because, first of all, without even spoiling anything, let me tell you that Yoru, which is the giant black cross sword that Mihawk had, that's one of them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think
we've seen what Mihawk does.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't. That's not even spoil. Yeah, I don't feel bad about spoiling that.
Right.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
And yikes. So she's got a task ahead of her for sure. And then not to say nothing of Zoro having one of them,
right?
That we've seen right
and just,
now,
like slipping right out of her fingers, you know, like.
Zoro legitimately was like, "You gonna take this one?" She's like, "Oh no, just from bad guys." Zoro's got a smirk on his face, like,
right?
"This will come back
and
later."
And I'm like, "Really, Tashigi? Nothing." Not even after he asks.
She literally is like, "Wow, you're just like that bounty hunter that uses 3 swords." And I'm like, Tashigi.
What other bounty hunter with 3 swords and moss green hair walks around the East Blue?
There's so many clues, Tashigi.
I'm like,
there's so many clues.
You're missing it. It's just going right over your head. Like, and the fact, too, that he, like you said, he even asks her, like, oh, you're going to take this one? Yeah. Like, that was, like, giving her a clue. Like, oh, I am a bad guy. I am the person that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm the guy. Yeah, he threatened you. He, like, clicked the sword open.
Right.
He threatened you.
Yes.
With, about taking the blade.
You took that in stride. Like.
Yeah, and you were like, oh, no, definitely not you. You seem like an upstanding citizen. Over there radiating bloodlust in the middle of a sword shop. You seem like you're fine.
You seem like...
Yeah, Tashigi needs some help. I just, but yeah, no, so, like, we learned that about, like, the world of One Piece and, like, the swords that are there, which will obviously come into play later as we, encounter more of those blades.
Yeah.
But, the, sword shop in general, Zoro found a sword, the Sandai Katetsu, that was cursed. And how do you feel about that moment?
That was insane.
Because what an amazing Zoro moment.
It was like a fantastic Zoro moment, honestly, because like I understand fully like the point that he was trying to make. Like, what's worse? Is my luck better than this sword, or is this sword better than my luck, Like and the way that he tests that
decision
is very insane. But I like how I appreciate it though, because it like makes like everyone in the room respect him so much more, just because like they realize, wow, he's like insane enough to do that. Like he took the cursed sword, and also like he has this like weird intuition about him, right? Like, where he picked up the sword, and without being told it was cursed, he said, it's cursed, right? Like, that's what it is. And, like, he's like, I can just feel it. I can feel that it's cursed. And, like...
Yeah.
And I love that moment, too, because you're like, there's something, like... Even though, like, Zoro isn't the brightest bulb, like, he definitely has some intuition, going into this,
There's something there that I don't, like, know. Yeah, it's very, like, almost mystical feeling.
Yeah.
What's going... Because we don't know, like, what that would be, or, like, how he know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's, it might be explained later, but we'll have to see. But it might not be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is, like, very mystical. But, yeah. And, I mean, that's the whole reason he gets the Yubashiri. Is because he's like, he impresses the sword shop guy so much.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the best sword I have. Take it.
Yeah.
Like, it belongs to you. Like, you should... like, first of all, I love moments like that. I love that the wife hits him over the head.
Right.
And it's like, just giving away the best sword, which I get. But, I also love... He throws the sword up, right? He throws the Sandai Katetsu up, right? Mm-hmm. And as it comes down, I love that Oda, like, draws every, like, arc of the sword.
Yeah.
So you see, like, how it forms around, how, like, closely it forms around his arm, right? I love that. And then, when it hits the ground, it slides, like, all the way into the ground.
Right.
Like,
so you're like,
all the way almost to the hilt.
So you're like,
and
wow.
You're like, that would cut his arm off. That would surely have cut his arm off.
That would absolutely have cut his arm off,
Yeah. I don't know if you're prepared to play this game, but in the game of what sword is your favorite sword of Zoro's, the Sandai Katetsu is my favorite for sure.
Oh yeah.
I love this sword.
Oh yeah.
And he keeps it for a while, so we'll see him with these three swords, because now he has actual, like, legendary swords. All three of them are legendary.
Right.
Obviously, the Wado Ichimonji, his, like, the white one that he has in his mouth, obviously that's the most important to him.
Yeah.
Because that was Kuina's. But, like, but yeah, so now he has, like, 3 named swords. I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah.
But we also saw, speaking of swordsmen, we saw Mihawk roll up on Shanks' crew, wherever that was, to tell him the news. How do you feel about that whole interaction?
I liked it. I liked it a lot, to be honest. Like, I think it's so interesting in seeing, like, these people that are all interconnected with each other that, like, you don't think are interconnected to begin with. Like, we had it before when we saw, like, Buggy and Shanks had a past together,
Right.
And then, like, now we're kind of seeing that Mihawk and Shanks obviously have some kind of past together. And just, like, their relationship seems very interesting as well. Like, and I'm so curious to find out more about, like, their relationship and everything. Because obviously it seems like they have fought each other before in some capacity, right? But we haven't really seen Shanks go all out and fight that much, to be honest. So,
right,
like,
yeah.
we don't even know, like, but we have seen Mihawk go pretty hard, right? And so, like, we know what
right?
Mihawk is capable with. So it even adds to that mystery of Shanks as well, of being like, how powerful is this dude? Like, what does he do that's so powerful, you know? Like, he must be, like, he's still alive, and he obviously battled with Mihawk. So, like, that's something that's just very interesting. And, like, the reason that Mihawk comes to tell him that, like, Luffy has a bounty, like, I think that that's so, like, interesting. And, like, kind of makes you think, like, they're, like, friends in a way, but they're more, like, rivals, it almost seems like, you know? Like, they're friends sometimes, but not other times, you know? But I really enjoyed that interaction.
Yeah, I don't think it's spoilery for me to say this, because I think that this is an anime thing that's made more clear. First of all, this interaction is made way more clear in the anime than it is here. It's like 2 pages in the manga.
It is.
Like, and like it's like you could reasonably interpret them as enemies in this in the manga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have to be, but like the anime makes it way more clear that they are like friend. Like, Shanks like has fun, tries to get Mihawk to drink with them. Like, he's like they're clearly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that Mihawk rolls up and is like, Shanks is like, "Are you here to fight me?"
Yeah.
And Mihawk's like, "I don't fight people who are handicapped."
Right.
Like, it's just like, it's so disrespectful. But here's the thing: it's like, then the question becomes like, because he's not saying that Shanks is weak, right?
Yeah.
He's just saying, like, without that arm, he's weaker, which makes me go, did you guys fight before?
Yeah.
Are you guys?
Yeah.
Are you guys rivals?
Yeah.
I would love to know what's going on here. But yeah, One Piece is really good at this, at like just like tickling the appetite for the wider world, and then just like running, like dipping out of there super fast, being like, anyway, back to Luffy and crew.
And you're like, wait.
Like, you're like, please, more Shanks, please. I have so many questions. They've never been answered. Please. I just want to know. The passing of Kentaro Miura has me scared for all of us at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm just, Oda, if you're one of our 2 listeners, please stay healthy. Oda would
is
not
not
listen to
one
this.
of our 2.
Hey, listen, I don't know. Maybe he is. I'm amazed that he, 1, draws manga for a living and also speaks fluent English and listens to English podcasts with however many subscribers we have. But hey, welcome,
Oda. Has more
we love that you're here. We love that you're here. Please tell us more about Shanks. But yeah, anyway, we also get to see Luffy's village, and I just like the moment where the mayor's like, we don't need pirates repping this village. Like, it's just cute, you know what I mean? Like, how Mako is like, look, Luffy made it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you guys care about him.
Yeah.
Gives me real
really nice.
Naruto and the ramen shop guy vibes.
Right. It's basically the same thing, yeah.
It is the same thing, yeah. Anyway. Nami also has a shopping spree where she just tries on all the clothes and then doesn't buy any of them, which is the funniest thing ever to me. This poor guy who has a clothes hanger for a hairdo gets strung along, and that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that, like, Oda was just like, I want to draw Nami in different outfits.
Probably.
And then never again. Like, I don't want to always draw Nami in different outfits.
But this
so I just am going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to try it out, and then I'm going to leave. She's going to wear normal clothes because I'm not doing this every time. Oda actually is like that. Like, if you ask it, like, interviews have been asked, like, he likes putting them in different outfits. Like, he likes that aspect of it. And if you look, like, One Piece characters do have one of the most variants in anime characters.
Honestly, that's true.
Like, in their outfits.
Yeah.
And so I think he does like that. But obviously, at some point, it gets too complicated if you're drawing like a feather shawl on Nami every panel.
That's too much.
But no, I thought it was hilarious. She's just like, yeah, I like normal clothes.
Yeah, I need something more comfortable. So bye.
It's just great.
I love it so much.
And the guy's just like, his face is just crying.
Yeah, he's crying.
Just like, okay.
And the fact is like, we know that Nami has enough money to buy like whatever clothes she wants to, and like have uncomfortable clothes too, right? Like, we know that she has enough, right? To like own uncomfortable clothes as well as comfortable clothes. And like, this moment almost just feels like she just wanted to mess with him a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really funny.
It feels like personal, right? Like, I just don't. Yeah. I also, the last kind of, you know, like Straw Hats doing their own thing moment is like, Sanji just buys the bluefin elephant tuna, right?
Yeah.
And he had to work for that in the anime. There was a whole cooking competition.
There was a whole thing.
Like, it was not my favorite filler from this arc in the anime, but it was like Carmen, was that her name that he has to cook against?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not my favorite one.
No,
but
he just goes up and buys it.
He just buys it. He just purchases the whole thing. I love the design of the bluefin elephant tuna. There's something about the fact that it's just a tuna with a trunk that really makes this for me.
It's amazing.
I also love that Usopp has to carry it.
Yes.
And like, Usopp's like, why do I have the heavy end? Like, he gave the heavy end to Usopp. It's like perfect.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I just like the bluefin too. I like looking at it.
It looks good. It looks very funny.
Yeah, but all the way back around to what you were talking about, Luffy on the platform, we just jumped up on public property because
he's Luffy.
He can, I suppose. I love is like, if you're like the police guy, right? Because that wasn't even a Navy guy. That was like a local security dude. The first guy that came up to him, like, if you're that guy, right? You probably, no one has tried to climb the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Like, maybe ever, right?
No.
And then on top of like no one attempting to, like, very few probably attempted, like, Luffy can just be at the top nearly instantly.
Yes.
And so this guy is like, I looked away for 10 seconds. How is this kid all the way up there?
Right.
How did he get up there?
I did not
so
see
quickly?
him climbing. Like, what? How is he?
I don't understand. But then we the fruition of the first cover page story that we saw came. We got to see it, and we learned who the woman with Buggy was.
Yes.
And could you believe? I say can you, but like,
could you though?
You've seen this before. Could you believe that this would be Alvida?
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, like, her personality, right, hasn't changed a bit. Like, we know
no.
From her personality, she's still very much so Alvida. But yeah, like, even like, you know, obviously she was quite rounder before. Just not even, like, making a fat joke about her. Just, like, her character was quite literally, like, shaped like a circle. Like, it was...
Yeah, she was a large lady.
Like, she was shaped like a circle. So, like, obviously, like, she has changed a lot, you know? And even, like, in her face and everything, like, it looks like she almost has a completely different face, like, than she did before.
Yeah.
Like, and so, like, obviously, like, Luffy has an extremely hard time telling that it's Alvida, because, like...
I love the way she phrases it, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He hit me. What?
He hit me, and now I'm in love with him.
Luffy's like, I don't remember this at all. I don't...
Did I hit you? I loved that whole interaction. Like, Luffy's like, I don't even remember hitting you. Like, did I hit you? Like, what?
Pretty sure I've never seen you in my life. I don't know what's happening.
Right. And also the fact that she's, like, completely in denial about how, like, the devil fruit she ate made her skinnier as well. Like, it's hilarious. Like,
oh, it's the best. Oh, it's perfect. It's like you're a wholly different person.
Right.
You're like not even the same human being at this point.
She's like, sadly, it didn't make me any more attractive, you know? And I'm like...
It got rid of my freckles.
Got rid of my freckles,
like,
though.
okay.
And Luffy's like, that's not what I was telling you.
Luffy's like, that's not the only difference, Alvina. That's
like,
not the only
thing. I see
thing.
a lot more difference than that. But yeah.
I kind of like her devil fruit ability.
Yeah, I do too. I'm into it.
It's like so unorthodox. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand at all why that would make her look like that. I don't.
No, it doesn't
get
make
that.
any sense.
That we'll never see that happen again. Like, there's no other devil fruits that do this to people, but like...
Devil fruits do not make you more attractive. That is not...
No, they don't, like, change your appearance, usually.
No.
Like, a lot of them you can, like, transform, but, like, not the... Like, your base thing still stays the same. I don't understand why this happened to her. But the fruit is cool. I like the whole like... I like when she did, like, the non-friction thing. She, like, took her shoes off and, like, could just slide infinitely.
Yeah.
Because there's no friction between her feet and the ground. I was like, that's kind of useful. There's
useful.
like, useful ways to use this ability.
And, like, the, like, fountain or whatever that started flying out her.
Yeah.
That just, like, slid off of her, basically, because, like, of her devil fruit ability. I think it's a really cool ability, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it goes well with Buggy's crew too.
Yeah.
But the man is back. He's back. Buggy the Clown is here. I love Buggy with all my heart. And I'm glad he's back. Yeah. Also, this plan just worked.
Yeah.
It
worked.
It wasn't like that big of a plan. It was just like put Luffy in stocks and then cut his head off. Like that was the whole plan.
And I'm pretty sure Luffy could have done something to that, to be honest.
I really am very confused as to why. Like, is it sea stone on the...
I don't know.
Like,
it could be.
What am I missing?
It could be.
What am I missing?
Yeah.
Because, like, Luffy can't, like, move. He clearly doesn't move.
Yeah. So it must be something
know.
Like that, you know? But...
I love the panicked... I love how the storm, like, works as an escalation tool.
Right.
For this conflict, too. Like, as Nami is, like Nami says, like, I feel like it's gonna storm.
Yeah.
Right? And so you start to get this looming anticipation with Luffy's up on the scaffold. You know what I mean? Like, and by the time that, like, the execution's going down, it's, like, really storming. The rain's coming down.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I love that. Also... Just before we get into the execution itself, so Moji, right, and the lion Richie.
No.
Did you catch that?
I want to talk about it.
Is it the same?
He looks so
in the scans?
weird.
Because
Moji looked like a motorcycle, and
not only does it look weird, but he was saying, who's that riding the Richie bike? It's me. Like, he's like singing to himself.
Yeah.
Why did he do this to the lion? Why did Richie look like this?
I feel so bad for Richie. And like,
why is he wearing a helmet?
Why is he doing that?
I just hated everything about this. I loved it. I feel the exact opposite way. I don't understand any of it, but the entire time I was like, I want to join Buggy's crew.
The way
I don't know how.
Richie looked was like unsettling to me.
It was so wrong.
It felt so wrong.
Hair handlebars
yeah,
he's got there. It spoke to me. I gotta be honest. It spoke to me. It definitely spoke to me.
Oh my gosh.
Richie. Yeah, I just had to point that out before we got to the execution because
wow.
This just makes me. Yeah, it's a lot really to deal with. But yeah, I love this as a Luffy moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like super, and it's setting up some like huge things about this story going forward.
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a little, less clear right now at least. But yeah, I like the moment of the execution, like the lightning bolt. What, do you have any thoughts on any of that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously very strange. Like, you're like, okay, something really weird is happening right now. Because, like, lightning strikes the execution site at the exact time that Luffy's about to get his head chopped off. And you're like, that seems like something definitely a lot more than a coincidence. So, like, I don't even know what to think about that at this point, honestly. Like,
he's backed into a corner and he actually thinks he's gonna die. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, it's gonna go, and he just like, he's like, see you later or something. Like, or like, I guess I'm gonna die, and he's like smiles. Yeah,
guess I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna. Like, and as obviously as like Zoro and Sanji are like trying to bust their way up there as quick as humanly possible.
Right.
But like he like that, and like how unsettled Smoker gets.
Yeah.
Because of this, like he's like, I've only ever seen one other guy do that.
Yeah.
And it was on this execution stand. Right, like it was Gold Roger. Like, So I just like it's like an interesting moment. And this whole, like, smiling in the face of death thing is definitely going to come back. So, that's why I feel like highlighting it is important. But, yeah, that lightning strike. What crazy luck. I just... and, like, I say that in all sincerity. I legitimately don't know what happened here. It actually seems like it was luck.
Yes.
I don't... I just crazy. Don't know.
It's so crazy.
So it was definitely crazy. But speaking of Smoker, do you have Smoker thoughts?
Yeah, I like Smoker's ability a lot. Like, to be able to transform his own body into smoke, I think is really interesting. And especially in the way that, like, he's fighting with everybody, right? Like, and, Buggy transforms into a car.
Oh my gosh, I love Buggy.
That's something that like actually makes me laugh out loud. Like, when I see it, like, it's hilarious. But
it's so
like,
good.
Like, obviously, like, these people are trying to get away pretty quickly, and like they're stopped by Smoker, like, immediately, almost.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, like, we can tell that this guy, he's like super powerful, and that he's definitely like living up to more of the title that, like, he hasn't let any pirates escape from this island. Like, you can see from how, like, powerful he is that that is probably within his wheelhouse, and you're like, wow, like, it's this Luffy, if he has a full-blown fight with this guy, it's going to be a really hard time, right? Because we even saw, like, him and Sanji very briefly fight with him, right? But, like, that was cut short and everything. But, like, we can tell that, like, this would be a very hard battle for Luffy because, like, a big part of Luffy's ability is, like, he needs some physical material to hit, right? And, like, Smoker's whole thing is that, he can transform into a fully, like, vaporized material. So we obviously, we know that, if this comes up in the future, that there's going to be some problems for Luffy, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I like the idea that he, like, reformed this town.
Yes.
Because, like, even the Swordsmaster was like, we used to have all these pirates come in here and buy swords all the time, but Smoker rolled up.
Yeah.
Since Smokers come in, we don't have that so much. And, like, this idea that, like, pirates avoid Loguetown now.
Yeah.
Because he's there. Like, and like you said, I believe it. He's definitely strong enough. Yeah. This is a captain, folks. This is a captain. Not Nezumi, not that rat. Get him out of here. Not Morgan. Get him out of here. This is a captain.
This is a captain.
On top of that, I love his introduction to this series.
Yeah.
The little girl spills the ice cream on his pants, and what are we conditioned to think? That girl is going to die.
She's dead.
Something's going to happen. She's dead, right? Because so far, we've literally not met a Marine that was both powerful and good.
Yes.
We've yet to meet
Yeah.
one. And he goes, my scary pants ate your ice cream cone.
Yes.
Go buy another one. I'm like, this is perfect.
We're like, wow.
This is like, it's just, I know, because we're not expecting it, right?
Yeah.
It's totally out of the blue, because we expect him to be a jerk, like all the other Marines we've met, but he's not. He's genuinely a good person. He's trying to uphold justice. Like, he actually is doing the thing that Marines should be doing.
Exactly.
And it was like the first time that I was like, oh, maybe there are Marines that Kobe would look up to. Like, this is like the first Marine that I'm like, oh, Kobe would like this guy. I mean, probably be scared of this guy, but like he'd be like, he would be admiring of this guy.
Definitely.
And we even get a little picture of that when like the other guy comes in and like knocks the rock tower over by accident.
Yeah.
That he was building. Like, he doesn't get mad at that guy.
No.
He says like, oh, I shouldn't have stacked that stone like that. Like,
yeah.
He like, it's just like, it's very like, Smoker's one of the best Marines that I think exists in the series. So I'm glad that we get this. I love his like, the like at the end of this arc, right? He says like, he's like, get the ships ready.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? We can't just leave the post. He's like, I do what I want.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go. I have never let a pirate escape.
Yeah.
And this won't be the first.
Exactly.
Like, I love that he's like, we are chasing them no matter where they go. Mm-hmm. This determination is like probably misplaced, right? Like, obviously in a military structure, this is a bad call
Right.
he's making. But like, there are other people in the Grand Line that will take care of this. But like, but I love the determination. It's just a really cool thing to see, especially from a Marine character in this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And then we get to the mystery man who stops Smoker from taking Luffy out for some reason.
Yep.
Who is this man?
I mean,
What does he want with Luffy?
I mean, I know, kind of, but like.
Do you know? Do you know? That's crazy.
I know like a decent amount, but I can't say what I know.
Yeah, we don't know right now. We don't know
anything right now. Who is
it's a dude in a cloak.
Who knows?
Wow, scary. Can I just say? And these are actual theories. These are not like I don't know the answer to this. People go crazy about this moment, right?
Yeah.
People are like, do we know what he can do? They're like, does he have a wind devil fruit? Like, does it look like he blasted a gust of wind? Like, does he have storms somehow? Like, was he the lightning blast? People go insane about this.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know.
We don't know. Who knows?
But this dude just showed up, and we know his name is Dragon. Mm-hmm. That's all we know.
That's all we know.
Could be a code name, I guess. It's kind of a weird thing to name your son Dragon. That'd be.
I mean, I guess.
I can't imagine.
I mean, there are some.
You could.
Weird
This is
names.
One Piece.
One Piece. So.
As far as we know, Smoker's actual name is Smoker,
Right.
which is just the worst thing ever.
A horrible thing to name your child.
He was born.
He was born.
His parents looked at him and they were like, "There's nothing we can do. This is a smoker for sure."
Put a cigarette in
And
that
so now-
baby's mouth.
The man now has 2 cigars in his mouth at all times.
That's his intro.
Which is insane.
Yeah. He's got 2 cigars. The amount of nicotine this man consumes is unorthodox.
He's gonna.
I'm pretty sure
he's gonna
he
die
should be
next
dead
year
by now. But yeah, I guess if your whole body
die.
is made of smoke, maybe it doesn't really affect you at all.
Maybe it doesn't. You're right. How do we know? Do we know that it's happening? Is lung cancer even a possibility?
Maybe he can't even
Does
get
he let it
cancer.
get to his lungs?
Yeah, maybe he can't even get it.
He is lung cancer.
He is lung cancer.
He is lung cancer.
You can't get
That's the
lung
next
cancer
stage.
if you are lung cancer.
Joke's on you. Yeah, but the last part of this arc, you know, as they're leaving, I just love the moment, right? Going back to like, this is the crew. This is the ending of a saga, the ending of like a storyline, right? Mm-hmm. When they all put their feet on the barrel and like say their dream and break the barrel and go, like, that's such a cool moment, you know?
So much. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah,
And it's kind of a reminder as well, like, to the audience as well. Like, if you, like, couldn't remember exactly what each member of the crew wanted to accomplish with this journey, like, now, here's your reminder, you know, here's your second clue, because, like, I mean, with all of them, like, we kind of find out those things, you know, in their introduction, right? Like, in wherever we met them. And at least for, like, Zorro, you know, like, it's been a while since we've really, like, you know, seen his introduction. And, like, some of the other characters, like, you might not be able to remember exactly what their goals are. So, like, it's a good moment, like, both for the audience to recall that, and as well as for them as a crew, just to, like, be restating that to each other and reaffirming that to each other. And, like, the fact that, like, they all believe in each other's goals is, like, so amazing to me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a cool thing. It's really, I love they recite their dream that they're as like a thing they're gonna accomplish as we enter this unknown world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this place that none of them have ever been before. It's like this very like daunting task, or at least we assume none of them have ever been. I suppose. Do we know? This is like a wayside tangent. Did Bellamere find Nami and Nojiko on the Grand Line? Did it say?
I think
that she was on the Grand Line.
Maybe? I can't
feel like
remember.
it did. I don't
think
know.
that it did. I think you're right. But I can't really remember exactly, so I won't say.
But either way, she would have been an infant.
Yeah.
This is like an unknown territory for all these guys.
Right.
Or, you know, and as they're going in, they like restate their dream to like get that confidence back, because they're headed to this peak in like a storm.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's a really cool moment, I think.
Yeah.
And a great way to like cap off the saga as a whole, and all the time that we spent in the East Blue.
Definitely.
But yeah, did you have any other arc thoughts? Anything that I missed?
No, I don't have any other thoughts about this arc.
Yeah, did you catch the cover pages? Because
I did, yeah, I did catch the cover pages for this one.
There were some good ones.
There were some very good ones. I liked it.
I think the last one is my favorite, where like that one Marine guy like cuts up the pistols that Kobe's holding.
Yeah, that is
and
so good. His
Kobe's
face.
legs are like shaking like crazy.
Yes,
His face, I love it.
It's so good. It's such a great moment.
This is crazy. This has gone crazy, you know? Captain Morgan takes his son hostage. Kobe is, like, standing in the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes from here, but Kobe, you know, Kobe's doing his best. Sticking up for his friend.
Sticking
I love
up for
it.
his friend. What a guy.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah, but before we move on, so this is the end of the East Blue Saga.
Yeah.
So as a whole, how do you feel about the beginning of the story? What did it set up for you? What do you think? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I really, really enjoy this saga as the beginning of the story, you know? Because, like, it does have a very, like, we're going from our hometowns into the adventure feel, while we're also having adventures along the way, you know? Obviously, because we're going to all these different places, picking up crew members, doing all of this other stuff, but I think it's like such a great intro into like the rest of the series, and just being like, yeah, like this is basically, you know, what's gonna happen. Like, we won't be in our like hometowns anymore, like they're all going away from their homes and everything, but like we will like be together, and like that's kind of our new form of home, our new form of kind of like family that we have, you know? And I like really appreciate that just as a concept as well. Like, you know, even though we left behind people, we left behind places that we really enjoyed and we spent like most of our lives in, you know, like we're going forward like with this confidence and with these dreams that we want to accomplish, and I just really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I think it serves as almost like a prologue, I think, to the rest of this story. Like, this is a great way to introduce these guys, this crew.
Yeah.
and to show, like, we have a great idea of who they are as people going into what is undoubtedly going to be like a hard situation. Like, the Grand Line's going to be challenging. At least we're told that, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a great understanding of this crew before we make it there, so that when they go through problems like that, we're going to be able to, have a little more ground to stand on, at least from a story standpoint. So the saga works great for what it clearly is supposed to do. Yeah. What's crazy to me, right, is in interviews, Oda had said that the whole series was supposed to be this length, right? He was going to make the entire series this long. And then at some point he was like, I'm going to need more time. I'm going to need more time. Yeah. And he's essentially been saying, give me 5 more years for the last 10. Right. So it's not. It may never end because he keeps saying, "I'm just gonna 5 more years, guys. If you give me 5 more, I'll wrap this puppy up. It'll be all good."
But
and it keeps going. So. I don't understand. Yeah, it's been 10 since he said that. So, and that was already after he lengthened it another time.
Right.
He was like, "Oh, this will probably last about 10 years," and then he was like, give me 5 more. And then he was like, you know what, maybe 5 more.
Yeah.
And now he's just recently goes, yeah, I'm going to need 5 more. It's just to stop. It's just, you're not going to stop. It's fine. I don't want you to stop.
I want the series to end because you're dead.
Keep going. Yes, I can't have that happen, Oda. I need you to tell me what the One Piece is. I cannot.
Tell us.
Yeah, I can't. I can't track down the one sick
all this
kid.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just But yeah, no, it's definitely a great saga. But yeah, so favorite arc. What arc is in the lead for you after this?
I think Arlong Park is still my favorite after this.
For sure, not a doubt. Not a doubt.
No doubt.
Arlong Park is definitely good. Yeah, this one, I think this set up a lot of things. I like the cool moments where we see like more of the world, like we were talking about. But this is like a setup arc, It's like a send off arc.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's we it's a good arc, but not Arlong is definitely better.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the things I forgot to mention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there's a as we go forward, there is a connection between Gold Roger and his journey and Luffy and his journey.
Yeah.
That if you haven't picked up, I'm trying to be as the least amount of spoilery about this as I can. But the beginning and end is almost every new area of the world is bookmarked by some form of Roger or his crew being involved.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say, because I feel like anything else will be spoilers. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about that. The arc that we're going into now, as we enter the Grand Line, I could say more about that. But for now, that's all I'll say. But anyway, that brings us to the Shining Star. Who is your shining star of the Loguetown arc?
I think for Loguetown, my shining star is going to be Smoker.
Oh, that was mine too.
We can have the same one. It's okay.
Yeah, we're on the
Smoker's great.
We're on the same wavelength about this.
He's the only good captain that we've met so far. So.
For sure, puts these other ones to shame. There's literally one other captain that is like him. Yeah. I don't even know. Yeah, she's in the books. We'll see her later. But yeah, no, I'm starting to think the captains are not as strong as him. I'm starting to think that he should have been promoted at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, Smoker's just great. I just love him. I'm so happy that he's here now. Yeah, I just love it. So yeah. Anything else you got?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, so that's all for us. Next week we will be doing the Reverse Mountain arc, which is chapters 101 to 105. So another short little 5 chapter arc. We'll see how much we can suck out. We got like an hour out of this.
Yeah, we did.
Out of this arc, so we did pretty darn good on 5 chapters. So, yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Definitely like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel or the channel on whatever you're listening to this on, and definitely come back next week for more. All right.